Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go over some of the basics of shading in Desmos. Okay, so let's get to Desmos. Now what we're going to find is that we can use inequalities to shade regions in the XY plane. And so let's start with something simple. Excuse me, but I'm just getting over being sick and my voice sounds horrible right now. It's getting better. All right, so let's look at the plane right here. Let's say if I wanted to shade the region, the left-hand side of the XY plane. So here's what I would do. We're going to type in x less than or equal to 0. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so this inequality says x less than or equal to 0. Very simple. Right, the solution, it's any x that's equal to 0 or smaller than 0. Now, when you're in the xy plane, okay, that means that as long as the x coordinate is 0 or smaller than 0, it's a solution to the inequality. So Desmos shades the entire region, the entire left-hand side of the plane here. Now, let's say if I wanted to shade the right-half side. So in that case, I would just do greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so the solution to this inequality is any point where the x coordinate is equal to 0 or bigger than 0. And so Desmos shows the solution by shading in the right-hand side of the plane. Okay, now you might have noticed here that if you look right along the y-axis, it's a solid red line. Well, that's because of the equal sign here. If we were to replace that, all I have to do is just put the cursor up here and hit backspace, and it gets rid of the equal sign. Actually, let me switch this to 1. Now you can clearly see that there's a dashed line here. Okay, so this dashed line means that the border is not included in the solution to it. Now for this one right here, this just means x has to be bigger than 1. So that means every point whose it doesn't matter what the y coordinate is, as long as the x coordinate's bigger than 1, it's in the solution to that inequality. Okay, now we're not just limited to using x's. Okay, so let's hide this guy, click on the red circle. We could also do the same thing with y. So let's say if we wanted to shade everything below y equals minus 12. All right, so what I would do is I would do less than or equal minus 12. And the same thing happens. Okay, so here I decided to use an equal sign here. This is just to demonstrate, so it didn't really matter. But this says here, the solution is every point whose y coordinate is equal to minus 12 or less than minus 12. So that means Desmos shades everything, the horizontal line, right at y equals minus 12, and then everything below it. Now, if I wanted everything above it, I just have to flip the inequality. And you can see the same thing happens. Now it's saying that the solution is every y that's bigger than minus 12 or equal to minus 12. So Desmos draws a solid blue line, a horizontal line at minus 12, and then it shades every single point above it. Okay, so this makes it really easy to shade whole regions of the plane.